Okay, so we did shoot a little bit of video on Friday and Saturday when we were on our way back from our trip down to Florida, and the reason that any video got shot at all on Friday was that I was thinking, oh, I don't have any B-roll of the road trip itself, of being on the road, and so I'll shoot some B-roll of us going back along the highways, and then I'll just sneak it on in there to the earlier videos. And I'm not going to do that. There's enough footage of our trip footage and photos and stuff of our trip in DC, in Philly, in Florida, that I'm just going to let that stuff speak for itself. I'm going to assemble it and go from there. But Friday was the first day of the trip that I got tired enough that I had to let my wife take over the driving. That was very interesting. I get tired very easily. I have to pee a lot when it comes to road trips. I'm a difficult person to go on road trips, so I had no idea how this was all going to work, but I did really well. I drove us all the way to Philly, all the way from Philly to DC, all the way from DC to Florida. All told, including stopping, it's well over 20 hours of driving over the course of a few days. Of course, not a lot of driving once we were in those places, but yeah. At any rate, so Friday I let her take over, and I did shoot some video, which I'll probably insert here, so you can see what I was trying to capture. Wanted to capture some of the signs for south of the border, which is a big thing along the East Coast. South of the border is located just over the border from South Carolina from North Carolina. So when you're going down the East Coast, you see a lot of south of the border signs for hundreds of miles in advance of south of the border. And then once you get closer, it starts to be you see a billboard every mile, and then you start to see a billboard every half mile. It gets intense, the south of the border billboards. And so I tried to capture a little bit of that during that South Carolina stretch, heading towards it, right? Because we're heading from the Georgia border up towards South Carolina, and then eventually North Carolina, and so on. So try to capture a little bit of that. Try to capture just some greenery that I was going to throw in, but all that's going to just be background for this video while I'm talking. And so this is a little out of order for me to even bring this up, but one thing that I've been thinking about since we got back is how complicated I've made certain things for myself. And I try to keep things as simple as I can, and this is something that I was thinking about before I came back, and something that before I went on vacation, and something I'm thinking about now, which is just, it shouldn't be this hard to put together the footage, right? This is why I took a years-long gap into making any videos at all, because I kept amassing footage and amassing footage and amassing footage and never having time to work on it. This is a year or two ago, I finally went through everything I had. Basically my younger daughter's entire life to that point. I had videos of, but no videos that I'd put together. It's a bear. I've been trying to use I've been trying to use Adobe Premiere, because it's the thing I've spent some time on YouTube learning about. But the thing about Premiere is I just don't. It's so powerful that it's complicated and convoluted to do things. I was using Final Cut, but Final Cut couldn't do all of the things as easily that I was learning about, and everybody that I was watching videos about how to make videos, they were all using Premiere. So I said, I'll start using Premiere. I've got an Adobe Suite license. Why not? But I'm intimidated by it, which is why I haven't sat down today to try to put stuff together. And I mean, I shot a lot of video, mostly because I know it's easier to work with, mostly like sort of 5-second clips and things like that. So I'm hoping it will be easy enough. It used to be in iMovie, and that may in fact be what I need to move back to. Because it may just be that I'm not cut out for these more advanced things. That's what I find myself thinking, is I really like making my photos look great, but adding adding Adobe Lightroom into my workflow is just, it's a pain. I wanna just take a good photo, press a couple of buttons, and share the photo. And I don't know. It's not that I don't want to take a good photo. I brought the case I had on my phone all week was the Moment case, where I was able to attach different lenses to it, and I got shots that I could not have gotten without it. But it's the post-processing stuff that just, I don't know. When do I do it? When do I do anything? That's the question I have coming back from vacation. And I certainly had some time to ponder that on the road, but I didn't. And that's the thing, is that's maybe why I drove as much as I drove, was because I loved not having to think about anything. And now I'm home and I'm sitting on a swing, and aside from going to see Ant-Man and the Wasp today, which I talked about in a different video, I've had a lot of time to stew, and stewing is not good for me. I was not meant to stew. I'm not beef.